It's good, Commanders fans. So I'm going to make a pretty quick video. This video is going to be quick because I do have something to do. I know every time I say that, it does end up being about 10 minutes long. But so Jaire Alexander, let's talk about him real quick. Should they sign him? Should they consider him? Once again, shout out to the DC Defenders for blowing out the St. Louis Battlehawks in their own house, going in their house, taking their cookies, eating their cookies in their face, taking the food off their plate, and all that. Walking in their trap and taking over their trap. So I love that from the DC Defenders. But Jaire Alexander. So Jaire Alexander, we all remember for Terry cooking him when we beat the Packers with Taylor Heineke when they had Aaron Rodgers. And that play was on Jaire Alexander. That was a heck of a pass by Heineke. I'll give him his credit for that. And then Terry connected on that catch, one of his many contested catches on Jaire Alexander. That was a game where Percy Butler was wearing the cheese head when we beat the Packers a couple of years ago. Now, the only reason why I would even consider signing Jaire Alexander, I know the injury history is really bad. So let's look at the injury history the last couple of years. So he played in 7 games last year. He actually got suspended in 2023 as well for botching the coin toss. Now, we know how Dan Quinn is big on naming captains. Each week, Dan Quinn names a captain. Now, with the Packers, Jaire Alexander was not a captain that week. They played against the Carolina Panthers. Now, he's from Carolina, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of character. I'm not saying Jaire Alexander's a bad guy or anything like that, but I'm just saying this is an incident you do have to consider and think about when you're bringing people into your culture and atmosphere. Like, Marshawn Lattimore, people are questioning his priorities with the team because he did not show up to OTAs after having a very, very, very inconsistent season. If you want to make excuses about the hamstring, I totally understand it, but he didn't play well last year. There were some big moments last year we needed him to play like Marshawn Lattimore, and whether it was the hamstring or not, he just did not play well. So you have to be objective and honest about Marshawn Lattimore's play. But Jaire Alexander, 2-time Pro Bowler, made an All-Pro team as well, twice. But the incident is, so he stepped up for the coin toss and he anointed himself as a captain when he was not named a captain that week. They won the toss and he told the referees that they wanted to play defense. But when you tell the ref you want to play defense instead of saying the word defer, that actually means that you would play defense to start the game, and also to start the game in the second half, you would play defense again instead of getting the football in the second half. So I didn't know that rule at all, actually, until today. But he really did botch that situation and they decided to suspend him. And the crazy thing is they decided to suspend him when they didn't have a lot of depth at the cornerback position at that time in the 2023 season when they ended up suspending him. So they must have been so fed up to the point where they were like, hey, we're just tired of this guy. Eric Stokes was placed on IR because of a hamstring injury at that time, a cornerback for the Packers. And then also they were starting a rookie Carrington Valentine and Corey Valentine at corner against the Vikings the next game. So that's how much they were just fed up with Jaire Alexander. So, and then this year they wanted to do a 1-year deal, like an incentive-laden deal is what I'm hearing or what people are saying. And Jaire Alexander did not want a 1-year incentive-laden deal that would make him a free agent next year. It looks like he wanted some more money than that or some more guarantees. So, yes, it definitely is a buyer's beware thing. But if you look at the numbers and the statistics, he's still been a darn good corner. Like I said, so 2024, he played in 7 games. He had the PCL injury that made him out for the season. Then he had the quad injury in the 2024 season. 2023, he played in 7 games because of a back and shoulder injury. 2021, he missed 4 games because of a shoulder injury. So he's only played in 15 games one time in his career. Or the last time he played in 16 games in 2022, played in 15 games in 2020. So he played in 4 in 2021, 7 in 2023, and then 7 in 2024. He played in 16 in 2019, 13 his rookie year. So he's definitely been banged up just like Marshawn Lattimore. So it's kind of like the Spider-Man meme, if you will, making a lateral move. I mean, it's not making a lateral move because you can keep both. That's the thing. So you can have depth. Yes, you have Mikey. Yes, you have Trey Amos, who's a rookie. So we don't know yet. Yes, we've seen OTA Warriors before. I think Trey Amos is the real deal. But I'm just saying the asterisk on him doing so well right now at OTAs is that he is a rookie. You don't know if this is 100% going to translate, which I think it will. But I'm just saying. So would it hurt to add more depth bringing in Jaire Alexander? So those are the question marks. Like I said, I'm not banging on the table to bring in Jaire Alexander. I know everybody's going to comment no. and say heck no and all that stuff. I get it. I understand it if you don't want him. But I kind of I'm intrigued. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm intrigued. I'm not running to bring him in for a workout or anything like that just yet. But I mean, he's gonna be signed pretty quickly. I would think, or right after mandatory minicamp. But I'm just saying, like I would not stick my nose up at signing Jaire Alexander. That's just my opinion on it. That's my opinion. I get it. There's a lot of injuries that I just read to you guys for him, and we're going through that now with Marshawn Lattimore. And the thing is, you got to have depth. You got to have insurance, like a good backer. Yes, we do have Jonathan Jones now. Yes, Noah I is a darn good backup, a solid starter in the league that we saw last year. But you're going through a gauntlet of quarterbacks too. This is another argument a little bit for Jaire Alexander too. You're going to have to go against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith twice, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens twice a year, Malik Neighbors twice a year, Wan'Dale Robinson, who's solid, and Slayton's solid as well. And then the quarterbacks, you got to play Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes, Dak twice, Jalen Hurts twice, whatever you think about Jalen Hurts. Whatever your opinion is on him, he wins games. So you got to play him twice. Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes, Bo Nix, who was a runner-up Offensive Rookie of the Year against us. So we just have a daunting schedule, man. A lot of good quarterbacks and a lot of good receivers that we're going up against, man. So I'm just saying, like, adding another corner, like, he's not going to be cheap, of course. But if you can get him, and now you don't have to trade for a guy. Like, if Jalen Ramsey's released, then I think that's another guy you may want to consider. Just like I said, I'm not banging on the table, but you do have to consider Jared Goff again. Tua is not bad. So, I mean, the Seahawks with Sam Darnold, he's not awful. And then Geno Smith is a solid quarterback. So you really don't get a lot of breaks on this schedule with quarterbacks. And the only break you can really say that you get is really not a break at all, because we just lost to Russell Wilson last year. You get Russell Wilson week 1, and he's one of the worst quarterbacks on our schedule. And even him, he's like average in the league. Even though he's not the Russell Wilson of old, he's about average, and he can still hurt you like he did last year with Mike Williams and George Pickens in that last play of the game. And then who else on the schedule? Michael Penix, and even he was hurting us last year through the air. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can never have too many good corners. So that's my point right there. You look at some of the PFF numbers. Per PFF, he had 75.2 overall PFF grade, which was 25th out of 222 cornerbacks, which is not bad at all. 2 picks last year, which tied with Mikey, who led the team in interceptions. So he does take the football away. We just did not do that last year, and we dropped picks. 16 opportunities that Joey Jr. talked about that we did not capitalize on. 28 years old, 5'10", 196 pounds. So, I mean, like I said, it's something to consider. Like I said, it's something to consider. So don't go crazy in the chat or on the comments and whatnot. So that's all I'm saying. Former first-round pick. The last 3 years had 86.5 zone coverage grade and a 68.8 man coverage grade in the last 3 seasons combined. He also had 5 picks in 2022. That was his Pro Bowl season. 2 picks last year. And then also, if you look at some of the advanced stats that I really liked the passer rating allowed stat. That's like my favorite stat for corners. Like, if you look at Ben St. Juste's passer rating allowed, it's really bad. If you look at Marshawn Lattimore's passer rating allowed last year, it's really bad too. Jaire Alexander gave up a 63.7 passer rating in 2022, which is really, 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 really good. 67.4 allowed in 2020. Those were both his Pro Bowl seasons. 113.4 given up in 2023, which is bad. And then 86.9 in 2024, which is about average, which is about solid. Completion percentage allowed 59.8 in 2022 and then 51.3 in 2020. So those are the things right there that I do like about what Jaire Alexander has done the last couple seasons. So, but all right, let's transition to minicamp, to the preview tomorrow. So I'm just gonna do a rapid fire list of guys that I think that I am closely paying attention to. Ben Sinnott and Luke McCaffrey. What do these guys do? Ben Sinnott was in a non-contact jersey last week. What's going on, man? What's up? You know, so it's very early in the process, but I do want to see more from him. I just don't see him getting a lot of opportunities and snaps behind Zach Ertz. So if he doesn't really improve this year, then you got to draft a tight end. You just have to. Colson Yankoff. He looked good in that clip that they showed. So he's fast. I mean, he's an athlete. Like, he's an athlete. I'm not expecting him to go out there and have 20 catches this year or anything like that, but he's an athlete and a half. He is. Pass rush. You're not going to get much from the pass rush, but Dorrance was out last week. He was there, but he did not participate. And, you know, it looks like we're not going to sign an edge rusher. So what's going on with Dorrance? The receiver competition, of course, is going to be the talk of the town. It always is every year, that third, fourth, or really the fourth, fifth, and sixth receivers. I don't think we should keep Salmon already. I say it all the time. But does Luke stand out? Does Ja'Cory Brooks stand out? Does Gallup play better? Is he falling and stumbling? Is he getting clamped by Trey Amos? Is Debo getting clamped by Trey Amos? I want to hear more about that too. And then, of course, Terry McLaurin, is he going to show up? Is Marshawn Lattimore going to show up? So Terry, if he doesn't get paid, he's the contract. So he may not show up, man. Like, there's a real possibility he may not show up because today's Monday and they start tomorrow. So they're not getting a deal done clearly. So it is, I hate to see it, but I'm not panicking at the same time. Laramie Tunsil did take some media pictures today, so he is back. He's going to be there tomorrow. So that's good to see that. Good to hear that. And that's what we knew with Laramie. He did that with Texas, with the Texans, and Marshawn did the same thing with New Orleans. The difference is that Laramie's coming off a good season. Marshawn is not. Jalen Lane, too. I do want to see the speed. JCM, is he the fastest guy there? Again, like John Keim said. And some of the drills, is he the fastest guy there tomorrow? Will Harris, the safety, I've been hearing a lot of hype about him. So how does he look tomorrow, playing corner and safety? Percy Butler, Tyler Owens, Kane Madrano, all those safeties, how do those guys look in that battle? Because Percy Butler could get released. He could not make he could possibly be cut on the roster cut down day for the 53-man roster to keep Tyler Owens, to keep the guy from Jackson State. The safety from Jackson State, I'm blanking on his name right now. Somebody can comment it down below. And Kane Madrano is going to make the roster for sure. So, then they got another UDFA special teams ace that they brought in from UCLA too. So does he make the practice squad or does he actually make the roster as a UDFA? So that's something to take a look at as well. And then just the offensive line alignment with Tunsil being back. So Trent Scott will be a backup. So you'll see Tunsil and Brandon Coleman on the left side, and then a center Biotic, and then a right tackle Connerly versus Andrew Wiley, and then a right guard. You can interchange Connerly, well, not Connerly, but Wiley maybe at right guard. We'll see what they do tomorrow. Or trying to think who else is going to be playing right guard. Herbig could play right guard. He's not going to start though, but with Cosme being out, that could be a possibility there. And then of course it's hard to say the D-line because they're not going to do much. But Cleveland Farrell's been balling from what I've heard. So how does he look again? I'm naming basically everybody. And Jordan McGee, of course, eyes on him. How does he play? How does he look? Does Mikey and Debo, do they do drills after practice again? So Dietrich Wise, Javon Kinlaw, they've been hyping up Javon Kinlaw. And then contract year Deron Payne. I'll talk about him too. So how does he look? Is he playing intense and mandatory minicamp? Does that translate to the games this year? Does he walk the walk because it's a contract year this year? So, all right, you guys. And then punt returners, of course, we always like to talk about that. Punt returners, we already know who our punt returner is going to be, Jalen Lane, but the main kickoff return guys. And then some of the practice squad guys, too, like Cole Turner still on the roster. Lawrence Cager, tight end. I do like Lawrence Cager. And Demetric Felton. I do like him a lot. He's a running back that went to UCLA, so I do like Demetric Felton as well. So, all right, you guys, as always, you guys let me know what you guys think. Hell Commanders. Peace.